Okay, not much on the log. One thing I was going to cover is sort of an update on the crash from last Saturday. That was the car bicycle. So I had talked to the investigator today. He was able to review and got hold of some surveillance video. So initially, the witness thought it was a Jeep, a white collar Jeep, and he ended up finding an image of a vehicle. We believe it's probably a Chevy Tahoe. So we've got that still image. I'll make sure to get everybody a copy of that. We'll get that sent out. So that's just a little bit update. Haven't had any tips or any Crime Stoppers tips come in. So changes it a little bit if it's a Chevy Tahoe instead of a Jeep Compass or Cherokee, but we're still looking for information on that.
So it's still white, but just not.
Yeah, it's a what? Yeah, and what I'm not sure where the video came from, but it was right after that accident, and there was only one white vehicle, so that's why he's pretty sure that this is the one. So
No update on the victim at all.
no, I didn't. He didn't give me an update on the victim. So
Still, newer model, so it's a newer model.
a newer Chevy Tahoe is what we believe it is. Not
Front end damage.
there'd be some front end damage. Yep. On the log, not, like I said, not a whole lot. The aggravated assault, one of them is just a report. The other, that was at a business at 9th and Minnesota. We had somebody that had some work done to their car, and they left with the car without paying. Had an employee that was trying to get them to stop and ended up getting drug a short distance. Some minor injuries with that. The employee didn't have any serious injuries, so we know who the suspect is. We just haven't found him as of yet. The one assault is a domestic. The burglary, the first was a building. They had some surveillance video and they thought that somebody entered, but they're not sure if they actually gained entry or not. They didn't think anything was missing, but they're going to do some more checking. The second was a house that was entered. No arrests on that one. The disorderlies, a couple of reports, a couple of trespassings. Both embezzlements are cars that were loaned out. The family offenses, really nothing much to speak of. A lot of stalking and protection order violations. A couple of check the well-being reports, but nothing substantial. The frauds, the only big thing, or I guess unusual thing out of that was a scam, and this was Monday afternoon. We had a woman that received a call, and somebody said her son had been in a car accident and I think was in the hospital. But they basically said that they needed money for the rental car. And they initially said that they needed, let me get this pulled up here. Initially said that they just needed $8,000 from the victim. And they said the son was in jail. That's what it was. So they gave a very detailed explanation about what happened to the crash and everything like that. And they said that a friend of the son was going to pay half of it, and they needed her to pay the other half to the rental company, which seems a little odd. So unfortunately, she got some cash and then sent it to an address, and then the next day on Tuesday she got a call back that said the other half of that payment that the friend was supposed to take care of didn't, and so they needed that money, so she sent more money, and so there was a total of $16,000 that she sent. There's a couple of different addresses in California where she sent it, so there's a little bit of information to follow up on, but this is a little, I guess, a new variation on what we've seen. Usually when we have the call about a relative being in jail, it's the grandparents, and that somebody says the grandchild is arrested for whatever reason and they need money to get them out. So this is a little bit variation, a little bit different variation, but these things happen. People are trustful and relying on what's being told. We've talked about this before, but we would encourage people to get some information, get a contact information, do some verifying on their own. Call the relative, call friends, whoever it is, to make sure that that person is okay and they're not in trouble. And a simple step like that would be able to verify that this is a scam and not something that's legitimate.
Was it all just cash, or like they wanted gift cards, or just?
No, this I think was Yeah, it was cash that she sent.
Okay, so then it was the first time she withdrew like 4,000 or
8,000.
oh, was it?
Yeah, 8,000 the first time on Monday, and then 8,000 on Tuesday.
When did you find out it was like a scam?
The report doesn't say when she realized.
And so, okay, to clarify, she got a call and said that her son was in a car accident and was in jail.
Yep, her son had been involved in a car accident and had been arrested, so was in jail. Yep.
And the scammer claimed to be the rental car company?
No, that's the little part that seems a little odd, but the scammer claimed that they needed the money to pay the rental company. So they weren't representing themselves as a rental company.
Okay.
I don't know if it says this in the report, but does it say, like, did the scammer call the son by his name?
It just says her son, so I don't know if a name was ever mentioned.
You know, who the victim is?
The victim is 80 years old. Yep.
So in that scam, it's kind of a reversal of it a little bit with kind of,
It's just a new variation, a new wrinkle. You know, it's very similar to what we've seen before, but you know, that's the scammers. They're always trying new things. Unfortunately, they're good at what they do, and the selling point is they have a lot of information, a lot of details. They're able to talk and convince people to send them cash, Bitcoin, gift cards, you know, whatever. That's the bad thing, is that they're good at what they do. They're able to convince people of this. And so that's why if people receive a call, we want them to kind of pause, to take a step. And if somebody's trying to keep you on the phone, that should be a red flag. But get that information so you can always call that person back, but then do some verifying on your own and try to, that's the best way I can say it, try to verify that what they said is accurate, and if it's not, then you don't have to call that person back. If you find out that it's a scam, then you know, we just want to make sure that people are safe and keep their money with them.
so for this kind of example, she could have called her son and made sure he was okay, or kind of do some checking of the
Yeah.
business or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's different things they could have called and follow up, and you know, again, the scammers are good at what they do, and so I don't know exactly in this case what information was told to the victim, but they may have said something along the lines of, you know, he doesn't have his phone, or you know, maybe the phone's in the property in jail and you can't get it out, and so there's no point in trying to call him. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to call anyway. It doesn't hurt to call. And so if it happens to be legitimate, you've got the name and number of that person, you'd make some phone calls, you know, call your son or relative and verify if they're okay or if they need help. And if they do, if they're fine, then that's good. And if you can't get hold of them and you talk to some other family or other friends and nobody can, you still have that original name and number you can call back to verify that it's legitimate before you start sending money. Because it's kind of odd. I mean, most businesses aren't going to call you up out of the blue and say that they need $8,000 cash sent to them. So that there's some red flags that are there, but it goes back to the scammers being very good at what they're doing, and so we're just trying to make people as aware as they can be.
Do you have a time for when this was reported?
It was reported yesterday morning, I think. No, yesterday afternoon. Sorry. Reported yesterday afternoon. The first phone call was on Monday, and then the follow-up one was on Tuesday. Good on that. Okay, nothing else big from the frauds. The larcenies, kind of our normal stuff. A couple of packages, some wallets, a couple of catalytic converters, nothing concentrated in one area. The rape is a report. The robbery, that one basically is another report, but that was a woman that was inside a business, and she said a man came up, grabbed her, basically kind of grabbed her from behind, reached into her purse and grabbed some cash, and then started to walk away. And then he made a comment that he was going to punch her when she got outside. She didn't see him when she got outside, but anyway, so we've got a description of the guy, but that's about it. She didn't have any serious injuries. The sex offense, that was a sex offender that didn't register. Nothing big from the simple assaults, and the vandalism was a garage door that was damaged. And that's all I have, unless you guys have anything else. Okay, thanks.